People often discuss whether humans are able to overcome sin completely and whether it's demanded by God at all. Once I joined a group of people and we talked about this subject when this brother said, "It's enough when you have a bad thought cross your mind to make you sin. It's something you can't avoid." Is that really the case? Every one of us is constantly confronted with the influences in our environment. We perceive them with our senses. What we see, hear, taste, smell, and feel triggers thoughts and feelings in us, which then have, or rather can have, an implementation on what we do and say. Because we are living in a world stained by sin, our senses are being confronted with negative influences. Thousands of years of degeneration and heredity make it harder for humanity to resist negative influences. How should we deal with this? Let's read Galatians 5:16 through 17. "This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would." Furthermore, we are told what is meant by the lust of the flesh. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like. That means that the natural aptitude of humans is towards evil. However, has man committed sin just by feeling this aptitude, this lust? The answer is no, because we are told not to give in to this lust, which can beset and pester you. Sin is only committed when you give in to the lust. When you pick up that unclean thought and deliberately dwell on the evil, either by doing that which is spoken or by fostering a thought. Jesus says, "Whosoever lusts after the wife of another man has committed sin in his heart." For example, I'm being provoked in a conversation so much so that I'm tempted to react in a hostile and unfriendly manner. My ego, my pride, which is rooted deep in my flesh, that is, the fallen, degenerated human nature, speaks up and would like to gain the upper hand. There is an inner fight taking place. I imagine how heaven, respectively the reporting angel, views this situation and trembles. In the end, I decide to be nice, lenient, and self-restrained. Heaven cheers, and the reporting angel notes, "Victory, no sin." How do we become victors, overcomers? Well, by walking in the Spirit. It means that we pray to God without ceasing, that we are connected with our thoughts and constantly receive the power to reign over our feelings, thoughts, words, and deeds. By making sure that no unclean, sinful influence gets to our brain through our senses. By maintaining an atmosphere that cannot trigger lust. A Christian aspires for things that are true, honest, whatsoever things are just, Whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. That's what it means to walk in the Spirit. When Jesus returns, he will make all things new. Our fleshly, fallen human nature and our tendency to sin he will take away completely. Hereafter, any rotten lust that wants to seduce us to sin will be gone. Therefore, we don't have to be discouraged if we are tempted by lust, because temptation is not sin. However, God tells us to resist lust through change in spirit. Thus the lust of the flesh loses its power. He invites us to become overcomers. May God bestow many victorious experiences upon you and me.